Mike, turn your games down.
Hi, we've got episode 231 of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who's with me tonight? That was my attempt.
I'm here to talk about Sean Connery.
Hi.
Hey, what is your name, sir?
Nate, sorry.
Hi, Nate. I'm Reis. You know what, Nate? I am also here to talk about Sean Connery.
Right, this is the Sean Connery support group, right?
I mean, it can be if you want it to be.
Excellent.
Is it my turn now?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Trey. I'm here as part of the Maria Menounos appreciation group, right? That's what this is?
We can go with that.
We're all here
Was that the actress that plays in this?
Yeah, you may know her from Newbie, which was on the beginning of pretty much every movie of all time since I don't know how long. And now she's at Pumps, too. So there you go.
And
I unfortunately know what you're talking about. I'm actually going to go see a movie later today, and I'm going to see that dumb advertisement.
You're going to see her, even though we should be nice to her, because she did just get over pancreatic cancer like a couple months ago. So
okay.
Don't be too harsh on her. But she did. But yeah, she's annoyed the piss out of me for years.
I mean, she's fine on it. I'm just upset that she's there. I don't want advertising. I just want my movie.
Yeah.
Especially when they loop.
It's funny because it's always like, hey, thanks for watching the most watched movie thing. It's like, we have no choice here. Like, it's not the most watched because we want to watch you. It's on. You can't change the channel here. Like, that's kind of like a weird bragging thing, I guess.
But you don't have a choice.
It's like, it's the most watched because you play in every fucking theater. I go to Alamo Draft House now, and there's no Marina Menounos there, so that's
Yet.
Sometime. So we are here to talk about a game that I've been meaning to play ever since I saw it on the cover of a Game Informer. I don't even know what year because I didn't bother to figure that out before I started talking. But
I think it was 2004. I had that Game Informer.
So I was interested. So we're here to talk about James Bond 007 From Russia with Love that came out in 2005.
Yes.
Developed by EA Redwood Shores, published by EA, and came out PS2 GameCube era. And I've always been curious about this game. I've been meaning to get around to it. I just could never get myself to want to play it for one reason or another. I think I know why now. And then for this podcast, I said, fuck it, I'm going to play it. So that's my history with this before. What about you, Trey?
I was really curious, why you picked this one, because it's just so, out of the blue. I don't know. I'm always curious about your whole system for this, because everything seems very random, and it's like...
It is.
I'm like, was there an anniversary, or are you just like, hey, let's play?
I want to play it.
My history with... I don't know. Do you want me to talk about
Please.
The game or Bond or whatever?
Either one is fine.
My mom was a huge Bond fan, so I was raised on Bond movies and all that. Like, we watched all of them, the Connery ones and the Roger Moore ones and whatnot and all that. And of course, like every other person on the planet, I played a ton of Goldeneye and all that when it came out on 64. Plus, I played the remake of Goldeneye recently after it was released on Switch and all that. The original Goldeneye, but the Wii one.
You also played the Wii one, and you got me curious about actually playing that game for the first time.
You should. It's good. It's good. It's actually really good. It's a full-on remake of the original GoldenEye, but it's not. The levels are not similar at all. It's just kind of like a loosely similar story, but it has Daniel Craig in it. It has full voice acting and.
Because you were talking about it on your show, Nintendo Main Podcast, and I was like, I should play this, and I haven't done it yet, but you got me curious.
Oh yeah, no, it's on. Well, it was originally a Wii game. But then it was released for PS3 later. But I think it's a good game. Like I said, it's got full voice acting, and it's got Judi Dench and Daniel Craig and all the current Bond people at the time in there, and they just basically redid the story, And
I kind of want to try it.
It's cool. It was enjoyable. But I had never I played most of the Bond games, but I bought this one on the cheap. I got it I have a sticker on the top right here. I don't remember where exactly I got it from, but it says $4.99. And I have it for GameCube, of course, because the GameCube is one of my favorite systems ever. So that was really fun to play a GameCube game again, because I just haven't in a while. But yeah, I played all the, I played Nightfire, I played Agent Under Fire, I played Everything or Nothing, but I never really played much of this one. I remember I bought the game and I just played the first level just to make sure that it worked, and that's about it, because you
never know,
scratch disc or whatever, that type of thing. So. I just tested it, and that's all I'd really done with it. So it was fun to. I had a pretty good time with it, and it's short, which is nice.
Yeah,
I was able to knock it out in a couple days.
And Nate, what about you?
Like Trey, I grew up on James Bond. My older brother introduced them to me when GoldenEye came out on VHS, and then we just watched the whole series. Played all of the video games pretty much because of my older brother. He would buy them, and then I would play them. with Everything or Nothing being like, that was like the highlight of Bond games for us in the house.
We're going to mention that game a lot this episode, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And so he had moved out after, before this game came out, and I bought it like used, I think it was like 2006 or 2007, played it, and I remember liking it. Like, I did everything you could in that game on PS2, but replaying it, I was like, why would I do that to myself?
I can understand that. I completely can understand that now.
Yeah, so that's just my history with the game. Had the Game Informer issue too, and I was like super hyped about it, but also a little confused because I was like, what a weird one to just...
It really is.
Be like, let's make a video game off of this movie versus like any of the other games or movies. I mean,
it's one of my favorite movies, a Bond, but it doesn't. It's also the one that's least like a Bond movie because it's more of a spy thriller than an action movie.
Yeah.
So it's very strange why they chose this one.
Is this the only one that is this the only time Sean Connery was a voice in a game that you know, like specifically?
I believe so.
Yes,
Yeah, like his
I wish he didn't.
One and only game.
Yeah.
I thought he did fine. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I've seen this movie too many times that I can tell that the voice doesn't fit the Sean Connery I'm looking at.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And the lines are pretty close. A lot of the lines are from the movie itself, but they don't sound nearly as good as they sound in the actual movie itself.
It's been years.
Been old.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
It's been years since I've seen the movie. Does Red Grant call Bond old man in the movie?
Yes.
Or was that just like a fun thing?
That's in the... I'm pretty sure all his lines almost were straight from the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because that whole fish thing, that's from the movie.
He definitely talks in an old-timey way, like in the 40s, like old man, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Well, it's supposed to all be the whole fact that he's essentially replacing Bond in a way because he's trying to kill Bond, and I think that's the whole purpose of it. That I haven't seen the movie. I wanted to watch the movie actually for this episode, but it is not on streaming services anywhere. So
it is not.
Yeah, you gotta rent it or.
Yeah, and I didn't want to do that. And what about you, Reis?
Yeah, also a big Bond head here, and I distinctly remember reading about it in the Game Informer magazine as well. And something that I always remember is that Splinter Cell Chaos Theory had come out relatively recently, and Chaos Theory got a lot of attention for how many different ways you could approach a single level and all the different paths that you could take through a level. And I distinctly remember the Game Informer article really trying to pretend that this game was Chaos Theory complex, and they had like images of like the level design from top down, and they were like, look, Bond can go in all of these different directions while you're playing the game, and there's all these choices to make, which is really interesting to think about, because obviously when you play it today, it's I would say above and beyond linear Bond game compared to most of the others even. So I don't really know if that panned out, but that was the marketing approach that they took at the time, was like, this game is going to be very complex. So that's kind of interesting. The first time I played this game was a couple of years ago. I was pleasantly surprised by it. I think I'm going to wind up being more positive on this game than a lot of y'all, from what I've gathered. Yep. But like, and there are certainly a lot of problems that this game has, but I still kind of enjoy it quite a bit. I think it's unique. I did play it on an original Xbox, and I was treated to a very nice visual presentation and really well implemented full 5.1 surround sound, which was a great way to play it. It sounded really good. Apart from, we'll talk about it, of course, the Sean Connery voice situation.
Yes, that bothered me a lot in this playthrough.
Yeah, it's pretty distracting. I agree with Trey that, like, he's not, I mean, it's not disastrous in terms of what he's doing, but it doesn't work, I do think. I would have preferred that they just got a sound-alike. It's quite distracting, and a little creepy.
It's just the voice doesn't fit the character anymore. Like, example, if you watch Star Wars Bad Batch Season 1, Freddie Prinze Jr., who voices Kanan Jarrus in Rebels, it works. But he also voices himself as like a 10-year-old kid. The voice does not work. Because this is a 30, 40-year-old man doing the same exact voice. Or 50-year-old man, whatever the hell he is at this point. Like, it just doesn't work. And the same thing with this, where he's playing a 30-year-old Sean Connery, and it is not a 30-year-old Sean Connery recording this at the time. Like, it just doesn't work.
I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like they would. I mean, if you're gonna do like a game of the original Bond stuff, though, I mean, you have to get Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Maybe they needed a better like voice director, or maybe they need to pitch his voice up or something to make
Or
him
do a
sound.
later movie.
But it'd be like, you gotta have Sean Connery in there if you can.
I mean, you could have done one of the later movies when he's older. I mean, this is his second movie when he's very, very young in this movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say which one. Where does it fall in the Bond timeline? I knew it was like one of the first.
This is
third or
just
fourth.
Dr. No, From Russia with Love, Goldfinger. Goldfinger's amazing.
Yeah.
Then you get to, I think, Thunderball.
I think it's Thunderball, and then Diamonds Are Forever.
No, it's You Only Live Twice. Then
Yeah.
Diamonds Are Forever. That's when he's done. Then Never Say Never, where he comes back.
Oh.
The unofficial one, yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking You Only Live Twice was Never Say Never, and I was like, oh, that one's like later.
Both are bad, so it's okay.
Yeah.
You Only Live Twice is a bad movie. So is
Man, that's been a long time.
Thunderball's good though. But Thunderball is what
Yeah.
leads to issues in this game also. So.
Isn't there? Oh, maybe I'm just like misremembering, but isn't there like a Goldfinger level in a different James Bond game? Is that in that Daniel Craig?
That's in the final
One.
James Bond game, which is 007 Legends, which
Okay.
is a very, very bad game.
Yes,
In my
I remember playing that
Never
level,
played that
and I
one.
was like,
Yeah, no, this is just a weird. I mean, this movie is just it's also a really good movie if you haven't seen it. Like, it's very spy thriller. Like, the movie opens up with the first level, not the first level of this game, but the first level of this game that's from the movie is that whole hedge maze part. And in the movie, that's like a couple minute scene where you see Sean Connery walking around, and he gets murdered by some guy, and you find out it's not actually James Bond. He's wearing a mask, like Mission Impossible. And that's how the movie opens up. And this game has an app or something that has no bearing on the movie, but yeah. And I was very confused because this gang captures her. They're like, oh, they're Octopus. I'm like, okay, cool. Who's Octopus? And it wasn't till later on that I clicked, like, oh, this is Spectre, but they don't have the rights to Spectre.
Yeah, I was wondering about that because I mean,
Yeah.
I was like, that I don't remember that being any of the Bond.
right. I was
But
like,
it's
is this
been
before
long.
they named Spectre? Like, I was like, so they just
No,
went with
Spectre's named in the first movie.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I can give a very brief, rough history breakdown of what happened there if you want. Basically, there was a producer who, for various reasons, wound up with the film rights or the story rights to the Thunderball story, and MGM did not have those rights anymore. This guy went on to fund Never Say Never Again, which is low-key a remake of Thunderball. It has all the same major story points. He also spent a lot of time for the rest of his career trying to remake it again and failing at that, but he retained the whole time the rights to the Spectre organization, and it's not until 2013 that MGM finally regains the rights to the Spectre organization. They're allowed to make Spectre with Daniel Craig in it, and that's why this game does not have any mention of Spectre. They have to make this new organization called Octopus.
Wow.
It has to do with the author was sitting around a pool, from what I understand, drinking with 3 other guys. And one of the guys had the idea for the Thunderball plot, and that's why he owns it, because he went to court after it.
Yeah, it's a really goofy thing.
It is
I
really,
definitely don't know all the details, but it's a weird situation.
But I didn't realize he owned the Spectre name. I knew he owned the rights to make Never Say Never, which is a Thunderball ripoff, but I didn't realize that he made his whole career trying to just say how he owned this. Like,
yeah,
it didn't work out very well though. But it's just weird, like, because I mean, it wasn't until a little bit later that I realized, okay, what they're talking about, because it was just because of the characters I recognized. Like your main villain, who I think almost all his lines felt like they were from the movie until the last level. The woman that's with him, the agent, all those lines felt like they were just from the movie. Everything you saw with her. I'm assuming these people aren't alive either at this point. Because
Do you think that they pulled like the sound files from the movie?
I would have rather had that, personally.
Well, for the other characters, or do you
I
think
think
those
so.
are actual
I don't-
voice actors?
I
don't
think
think they did.
there's some sound alikes going on. Yeah, I think they're using voice actors.
Okay, that's fine too.
They did a really good job. Like,
Yeah, it sounds very clear. It sounds clearer than if they were using movie clips.
I know that the people, I know like the Bond girls, like if you watch the behind the scenes stuff on the game, which I think is awesome. Like I always like it when games have little behind the scene videos. But they talk to like when I mentioned earlier, Maria Menounos, she's the voice of like the evil Bond girl in the leather.
Oh, I didn't even.
Yeah.
Okay, I did not catch that. That's who that was. All right.
And also the
talk
other girl, like the Russian girl, like she was some like Grammy nominated person or whatever that I didn't recognize. But they did. I mean, they did bring in some like quote unquote actors aside from Sean Connery to do the voices.
I like
and all
that. Okay, I'm okay with that because I mean, again, nothing. None of the voices are going to be stuff that's going to jump out to you that you're going to recognize. So, but yeah, that makes sense. They did feel like they were lines in the movie, though. I can say that from my memory, at least. I think.
Yeah, they were recreating
They re-recorded all of it.
Okay.
Dumb question, because I probably just like checked out. Did Maria Menounos have any lines in this game?
A few.
I just said she's the Bond. She's the evil Bond girl.
Well, right.
Yeah, I mean,
but,
did
like,
you say anything? Not
Yeah.
a whole lot, I guess.
Like, I don't remember her talking at all. And then, like, in that level, and like, I think it's the second to last level or last level where she flies the plane at you to kill you.
Yeah,
That's
she's
the last
like
one.
the closed garage door. It's like, wow, what a way to go out. That had to have been from the movie, right? I mean,
No,
someone wouldn't write it. That's so stupid.
she's not in the movie.
Yeah,
Not even in the
none
movie.
of that's
she's
in the
a
movie.
brand
That
new
whole
character.
final level is new.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, the intro and the end of this movie is completely brand new because the movie ends with them getting on the boat and they run out of fuel and they're like, "Oh, I guess we're going to be stranded. Let's have sex while we wait for rescue."
I mean, isn't that how a lot of the movies ended, though?
Yes,
With
Goldeneye ends with him in the field, like, "Oh, we're all alone. Let's have sex." Oh, we're not alone. All the Marines pop out.
My favorite is Moonraker.
Yeah,
That one
the
ends.
Moonraker one is particular. Oh my gosh.
Are they like coming down from space in that one and then they have sex?
Yeah, and he says, "Are you ready for re-entry?"
Oh my god!
And all of like NASA is watching them on camera. It's a
It's
very
like,
weird vibe.
yeah, it's like, oh man.
Yeah, that's Bond for you. So this is a third-person game, which is different than, I mean, everything. So this game also came out after Everything or Nothing, and that really kind of is weird to me because Everything or Nothing is way better than this game to me.
I feel like the driving was better in Everything or Nothing. Like the driving levels in this one, I was constantly crashing.
Oh, they were bad.
Yeah, I
And I
agree. The
was
driving levels are really bad. I think the general shooting in this game feels better than that of Everything or Nothing. And I think like the aim button that lets you focus in on enemy weak points is actually a fun addition. It also lets you shoot people in the head from behind cover, which is cool. There are things that I like about how this one plays a little more than Everything or Nothing, but I totally agree that Everything or Nothing as a whole is a much stronger game.
It's got
So
like,
I ran out of ammo all the time. Was I the only one?
No, I constantly ran out of ammo.
Okay.
I ran out of
Got
ammo.
it.
Yeah, you have to I had to cycle through the weapons a lot.
Yeah.
Just because.
It's a little tight on ammo, but I also think like if you're using that weak point aim thing, like you
I
should be
did not.
getting headshots pretty.
I don't even know how you did that. I played a GameCube version of this game with a GameCube controller because it was the only one I could get to run. There were a lot of
It's the
issues with
B
this game. I had to
I
get funky with settings to make this run.
I think on GameCube it's B while aiming at an enemy, but
I did it
yeah,
once.
it like zooms in and you can like easily pull off headshots that way. So it's like you should be getting a lot of headshots.
Oh, okay. I did not do any of that. I was just holding down L, lock on the guy, then hold down R and shoot him a bunch
Yeah.
of guys.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
also
that
like
that was kind of funny too. Like every time I shot somebody, I was like, I was thinking about that line from like one of the Hot Shots movies or wherever, when he's like, "I'll kill you till you die from it." Like that's what I thought of whenever I was shooting anybody here, because you shoot them like a billion times before
Uh-huh.
I felt like they took way too many bullets before they went down.
yeah,
That makes sense if you're supposed to do
But also on the Bond vision that you were talking about, that was the only way I could beat that first boss guy, whatever his name was, Red something. You said his name earlier.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah, you gotta stun him using that.
Yeah,
Yep.
the
Yeah.
first time you fight him, when it's just him before he comes back in the octopus machine at the end.
No wonder that fight was so hard for me because I didn't do that. I just kept shooting him and shooting him and shooting him and safe stating and running and hiding.
Yeah, you gotta, because I'm like, well, this is way too hard. But yeah, once you start doing the Bond vision and you shoot him in all these specific places, he'll go down in like a couple seconds. Like it's a major difference. So
yeah.
That would have made this game a lot more playable had I known that, realized that, because the game tells me. I just didn't pay attention.
yeah, you kind of have to, because I'm like, all right, well, I'm obviously doing something wrong, and then I start doing it, and it got so much easier. Like,
God,
There's
that makes sense
also,
why this game was so hard then.
The big guys with the machine guns, they have like weak points on their shoulder straps. Then if you shoot them, they drop their body armor, and then you can shoot them in the chest. It does a lot more damage.
Oh,
like
See, I was just equipping the shotgun with the special ammo and just going to stand right next to them and going like, one of us is going to die from this, and I hope it's you.
getting destroyed. I
that's
noticed.
cool.
I noticed that your life like completely just like goes away so quickly after you lose your armor too.
Yeah, it does. You can't take a lot of hits in this game.
Which I don't mind that. Like, I mean, it makes I don't mind. It makes sense because, like, that's like real life. Like, you can't just go find a med kit on the ground and heal your life. I guess you can in real life, actually. I don't know what I'm talking about. I like the armor system in this game.
Except in real life, you take a couple shots, you're probably not going to be okay, period.
Right, yeah.
Well,
That's a really bad aim.
We were also talking about the upgrade system and how, like, you can upgrade armor, and far and away, that is the most useful upgrade in the game because it just gives way, way, way more health to work with.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
Yeah, I did it about halfway through the game. Like, once I saw you could upgrade things, I was like, all right, what can you upgrade? And it's like, oh yeah, Q armor. And you basically, like, make the armor meter bigger. And I think you can upgrade it like 4 or 5 times. You
can do it, 4 times. I should have did that. Normally in games I do that, but because I was like, well, I got save states. I don't need that. I was wrong. I didn't need that. But now I know why the game was so hard.
I was about to say I played on the easiest difficulty because I beat it like yesterday. I procrastinated playing this, and it was still like difficult. Like I was dying a few times in missions. So I don't know.
I was dying too. I was safe saying I was still having a really hard time with certain parts, but now it makes sense because I was playing this game completely wrong because I wasn't doing the special aiming at any point because I completely forgot about it from the one time the game tells me. I never did it again.
Well, yeah. I mean, to be fair, it's not as if the game magically becomes, way, way, way better once you are doing that.
Right.
No, but it would have been easier to play and I would have saved more ammo and not... I ran out of ammo a lot in this game.
Yeah.
I mean, to the point when I got to the last level in this game, I put on cheats because I was just done. So I had infinite ammo, infinite health, and I was like, fuck this, we're just going to finish this game.
I saved like all of my special ammo for that octopus fight.
I couldn't.
And that took its health down very quickly.
I had to use special ammo because I kept running out of regular ammo all the time.
Yeah.
And I was using every weapon, my pistol, my machine guns, I was picking up everything I saw, and I still was running out of ammo. And it wasn't like I was just missing. I was hitting them, and that was kind of like, I was like, this is just weird that this game is that bullet spongy. It makes sense.
I do miss from Everything or Nothing the melee system. In this, you just run up, and like if you hit the shoot button, he'll throw a punch, and then you can do like a quick time event and hit a corresponding button and take them down instantly. Whereas I just like putting away my guns and Everything or Nothing and punching people randomly.
I agree. Yeah.
Especially those dudes. Like I would try to do it with those ballistic shield guys in like the train level, and I just go up
so much.
Yeah, and like Bond would just like punch them, and then they'd push me back, and I'm like, no, I would just like to shoot you. Actually,
they were ridiculous.
Throwing grenades at all of them at the shield people because I don't really use the grenades that much because they're kind of cumbersome to get to. But yeah. I would just grenade all the shield people. Yeah, get out of here. Or eventually you get those the like shield piercing bullets, which are really nice.
Oh god, that gun was something else when you get it.
I didn't even think about using that because it said you could shoot it through walls, and I was like, okay,
shoot it through shields. Fuck those shields.
I didn't even think about the shields.
Yeah, it takes out shield guys instantly. It's great.
Yeah.
I will also add that the shield guys peek out from behind their shields, and if you Bond vision them,
yeah,
yeah.
They want you to do that. But it was I played it on GameCube, and it is kind of super awkward to do the Bond vision because you got to like. You already hold the one button to aim, and then you got to hold B. Well, I guess you just tap B, and it kind of like toggles it, and then you move it around. It's just, I don't know, the whole thing kind of felt weird. But you get extra medals and stuff for doing it. So if you're trying to get like those extra bonus levels, which are not great, you can.
Oh, they're terrible.
Get them that way. You get the little Russian star for shooting in the special spots or whatever.
The first time I played this game, it was on GameCube, and I have a distinct memory playing the Xbox version. I was like, this feels better. It feels like the controls were more tailored to that controller.
See, I should have I didn't even try the Xbox version, and I have access to that. I tried PS2. It gave me a bunch of trouble where it ran at 50% speed, and the game was playable at half speed, by the way. But I'm like, I can't do this because it won't be good for what I'm doing. Plus, it'll take me longer. Even though the GameCube version, when you press start, no screen would pop up. It would just be it was missing all the images of the screen. This game was just a full-on just mess to try to get it to run.
See, I had the most trouble going into that inventory screen with the up and down on the D-pad, where I'd push down and it would come up for a brief second, and then it would just close, and I'd start dying to tear gas, and I'm like, no.
I found it by accident. I couldn't figure that one out either, and I needed to because that's the reason why I had to figure out how to fix the start issue, because I thought I had to go to start to put on a costume at one point, because the game makes you put on a costume, but you literally have to hit on the D-pad.
Yeah, that was really weird. Like why they had to separate your your inventory and the pause menu. Like why can't those be the same thing? It's like I found that really weird.
It is
The
weird.
D-pad on a GameCube really, really sucks. By the way,
Oh, yeah. It's not great.
Yeah.
I never used it because I don't use D-pads. And like when I guess when I played GameCube games ever, I'm like, why would I? I'm like, this is miserable. Like, how could you play anything with this?
Yeah,
If
it's
you got
best
little hands.
just have it where you only for stuff like this where you just tap it. Like whenever, as far as like fighting games go, like no fucking way. I ended up ordering one of those Hori game pads that basically look like Super Nintendo controllers for my game. You can always use that for the fighting game stuff, because that control pad is stupid.
I feel like, it was bad. I mean, it was just, maybe this game would have been more fun had I played it on like a 360 control, an Xbox controller or a PS2 controller.
Yeah, I was about
And
to
played on
ask.
a different system.
I was about to ask Reis, is the inventory menu on the D-pad for the Xbox version, or is it like the equivalent of the select button?
Gosh, now I'm trying to think about. Oh, it is on the D-pad for the Xbox version.
It
Still.
is? Okay.
Yeah. Like, honestly, it just doesn't make sense that they didn't have a button to switch between regular and special ammo. Like, I just don't understand not having that, because it's very strange.
Yeah, and I think there's some buttons that don't do anything, or at least I felt like
Yes.
why
there
the
are.
Y button doesn't do anything if you're not like, aside from like the quick time events or whatever.
Right. Yeah. So on Xbox, they're not using the white or black buttons for like anything, which is fine because those buttons suck, but still. Did you all do the weird attaché case mini games?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
No.
Oh yeah, I did. I
Yeah.
did all of them. Well, all the ones that I found, and
I would get it attaching, like, do this, and then do that. Never did it.
Oh, because when you get towards the end, they get really, really hard, and then I realized that I'd been doing it wrong the whole time. Like it took me forever to figure out that you can press any button that it's showing. It just has to be one that's on the screen on the bottom. You know what I mean? Because later you have to do that. You have to like break your brain apart and be able to think about 5 things at once. And some of them got really tough, but I still played through them. So I could get, because you got all the extra points, so you could upgrade your ammo and your guns and whatnot from doing that.
Yeah, it gives you a lot of extra points for that stuff, but also like you can like mash the same button multiple times if it's displayed multiple times.
Yeah.
It's a weird mini game.
Yeah, but you have to like read them all at once, like as quick as you can, which is like, that's just kind of like breaks my brain. It's like, wait, is there an X? Is there R or L or whatever? Yeah. But it's kind of cool. I mean, it's a fun little. If you can get into it, I thought it was worth playing.
It works. It's poorly explained though. Yeah, you just kind of sit there like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing for a few seconds there.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah, I
you
was
were
gonna
supposed to
say
wait for the button to come up on the screen and then press it. But then later you don't have enough time to do that. So I realized that you have to press all the buttons, like when you see them on the screen, and basically read the whole thing. It becomes more complicated, but kind of more fun at the same time.
Yeah, I don't remember
sorry, I
seeing a
missed this.
tutorial for it, but I looked up a video on like the first one I found, because I was like, what am I supposed to be doing? Because I ran out of time.
I wish I would have seen this now. Yeah, 'cause I'm trying to look online to find out even more about it. I can't find anything online either.
It's sort of like it's like you're defusing a bomb or something, kind of like that sort of thing. You're hacking into, that's kind of the idea that I got from it. It's a shame that you can't do that for the actual bomb defusing stuff in the game. You just hold a button and that defuses the bomb. I thought there'd be some sort of mini game involved with that as well, but nope.
Also, oddly, you can activate it at any time in the middle of a level, which is odd because at one point, like, I did one successfully and then I died and the checkpoint reloaded and it was like, oh, well, I guess I have to do that mini game again. So that's kind of strange.
Yeah, that pissed me off because there was an attached case that I had in that in that fucking boat level, like one of the worst levels of the whole game. And I kept dying and doing the attached case again. And I'm like, all right, I need to do this. And then I waited until I got like to the very, very end of the level. And then I did the fucking attache thing. And then I beat it. But it's so stupid that it doesn't like autosave after you do it. You still have to, if you die, you have to come back and do it again. It's like, but that last one was so hard. Like,
that's also just this era of games. PS2, GameCube, Xbox era is not nowhere near as friendly a checkpoint as what we get with 360 era.
Sure.
Yeah.
Which is where I really get in. I got into video games personally, hugely. I was going to say when I got, because of the 360 era was much friendlier.
Mm-hmm.
Checkpoints everywhere. Games are more difficulty setting. You can make things easier. Like this, that wasn't a thing as much in this era. at least checkpoint part of it.
This was nicer than. I've played some games with pretty.
Yeah, it's not too bad, but yeah, for sure.
It could be worse.
Yeah.
It's not the best, but it could be a lot worse. It's like, you ever played Jack 2?
No, I have never actually.
I'm playing it right now.
So much.
Love that game.
I know some people like it. I can't. There's like no aiming, and the checkpoints are very, very few. And yeah, I love Jack 1. So
it's got some really hard difficulty spikes for sure.
It's
I know I should, but
you can't aim at people. Okay.
One day I'm going to play all the Sly Cooper games, Ratchet and Clank, and Jack Dexter games on this show. I've done Sly Cooper 1 and 2, and I've done Ratchet and Clank 1 and 2, but that's it. I've never touched Jack and Dexter yet. But I'm
speaking my language.
Someday.
Jack 3 is one of my favorite games ever made.
Okay, I know who to contact when I decide to finally make myself play those damn games. So, I mean, that's kind of how it happens with the show. I mean, there'll be games that I just think about and I keep thinking about over the years, and I'm finally like, okay, fuck it, let's just do this. And that's how this game ended up. I couldn't stop thinking about it over the years, and I needed a reason to actually play it, or I was never going to play it.
I mean, that's what I appreciated about the show. Is like I said, I had never played it before, and I think I was kind of on the other side about Everything or Nothing. I kind of didn't enjoy that game very much. So, From Russia with Love kind of had it. Was kind of sour when I thought of it because it reminded me too much of Everything or Nothing.
I mean, I could be wrong. I could have not liked Everything or Nothing. I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember playing it and getting stuck on a really stupid level that involved a helicopter or something. We were flying around and I kept dying over and over and over again. And I just was, I don't know. It's been a while since I played it, but I never beat it, and I didn't really like it very much. And I remember there's some really creepy Bond parts. Like I remember there's a part where Pierce Brosnan like walks in through a window and massages some naked lady.
There sure is that stuff.
And it's like Bond, and I'm like, ugh. That's
Bond though, especially in the 90s. Well, this would have been early 2000s.
I know, back when it was like, hey, look, he just like assaulted this lady over here. But Bond, cool. You know, it made me feel gross.
I remember us being fairly positive on the Everything or Nothing episode, but I will say that Everything or Nothing has some very strange, frustrating, difficulty spike moments kind of scattered throughout it. And this is one of my big positives on From Russia with Love for me personally. Granted, I use the Bond vision and stuff, but like I don't find this game frustrating at any point, really.
I think had I used the Bond vision, I would have had a much better experience with this game. I beat this game, I feel like in just like 2 or 3 days. Like I beat this game very quickly.
Yeah, it's short, which I liked because I could knock it out last weekend before.
Yeah, did I pull you away from Tears of the Kingdom then?
Yeah, but that's fine. I mean, I don't. I was fine with taking a break from Tears of the Kingdom for a moment. So I'm glad I did it last weekend instead of this weekend because Street Fighter 6 came out and I would have just played that.
No, I get that. I mean, this game is mostly, which I think also another thing I want to talk about, how this is like, Everything or Nothing in this are both third-person shooters, where before this and after this, for a while, most Bond games are all first-person. Like this is kind of something different. They kind of, they were trying at a different level. I like third-person games a lot in general. That's, I think, one of my favorite style of games is third-person shooters. I've realized over the years. I love third-person shooters.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's still fun to play. It's kind of funny. You go back to like one of the earliest ones, like the Brosnan games from the late 90s were also third person, I believe.
Yeah, Tomorrow Never Dies.
Yes.
Which one? Oh,
I've never played Tomorrow Never Dies.
I think The World Is Not Enough on PlayStation.
Yes.
That's first person.
Oh, that's first person?
Wait. Okay, the 64 version is for sure.
Yeah, we had both, and I remember the PlayStation one being. I preferred the 64 version because it was first person.
Yeah, that game's actually pretty good. I don't know if you ever did an episode on that, but I would totally talk about that game. Like, I think it's...
No, the PS1 version's first person also still? From the... I'm looking at a video of it right now.
Yes, I think it's all first... I mean, I only played the 64 version, but I always feel like that game doesn't get enough praise. Like, because everybody's like, blah, 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 GoldenEye. I was like, well, but...
That game's good.
It's really good also,
Did it blow your little kid mind too when you saw Bond actually reload a gun on screen instead of just putting it down by his side? Like,
on that one, on the Everything or Nothing. I honestly don't remember. And I
no, and The World Is Not Enough.
Oh yeah,
I don't remember
GoldenEye.
Yeah.
Oh sure. I don't remember. I don't remember it exactly. I was actually not that much of a kid. I think I was 19 when I played it.
Oh.
So.
But like From Russia with Love, one thing that I think was I mean, again, I find this interesting. Anytime you take a movie and you try to like make it a game, they took scenes of this movie and they found a way to fit it into a video game level. Like there's really, I mean, all that shit doesn't happen obviously in the movie, but like they found ways to kind of fit things in. Like the sniping mission, we got to protect Kareem. And I laugh because the final end of that mission is just like in the final part of the movie where the enemy it pops open where the woman's face is on the sign. And you got to snipe them.
I was looking at that sign after protecting Kareem, not expecting it to open. Like I was just trying to read what it said. And then the thing opened and I was like, oh shit.
I mean, I knew it was going to because that's what the movie does. But like this game tries to break up the gameplay. You have your regular third-person run-around levels. You have levels in a boat, unfortunately. You have levels in a car. You have sniping protection levels where you got to protect Kareem too much. But at least it tries to, change up the formula. It's not just doing the same thing over and over again.
I don't know if any of you did it, but for the sniping mode, like I was having so much trouble like doing just manual aiming because I was used to just doing the auto targeting that I just would use regular guns instead of the sniper and just
that's funny.
Shoot them.
Yeah,
I did too a couple times.
It was so much easier than trying to use the sniper rifle. Like be like ding ding ding. All right, where are you? Auto target. Ding. Just shoot them with my PP7.
I didn't even think about trying to do that. That's funny. I would have probably tried that if I was aware it was an option.
I did for at least a couple people.
Because I ran out of because they want you to go back and refill your sniper ammo, but I ran out of the ammo pretty quickly, like the first time you did that. And I was like, I should just shoot them regularly. And yeah, it's way easier to just auto target and just shoot them. As long as you're not using the shotgun or whatever.
Oh, that shotgun is one of the worst shotguns in any game, I swear.
Yeah, you got to be like right next to him to get it to do anything.
Like, I cannot actually believe the game released with the shotgun the way it is. It's so useless. It's insane.
I used it in the last level just because I ran out of ammo and I kind of went on a shotgun rampage, but it was like, it's, and I love shotguns. Those are like my favorite gun and I'm a huge first person shooter fan, like the old school, like Doom type things and all that. And I always loved shotguns. And I was like, oh, cool, there's a shotgun in there. But it's like, yeah, it wasn't great. It was definitely not like you had to get like right up there and then you lose a lot of damage.
And
I didn't like it.
It still felt like he would miss sometimes.
Yeah. Well, it also shows the health of enemies in this game too, where when you put the highlight on them with L, it'll either be green, yellow, or red, so you can kind of tell like what their health is at.
Oh,
and
yeah.
sometimes I'd shoot a guy with a shotgun, like you were saying, Reis, it would still be green. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it wouldn't go down.
Yeah, I was hoping it would work like the Magnum, like the Cougar Magnum, like you can take people down like pretty much in one hit. And I was like, you should be able to do that with the shotgun up close, but I still had to shoot him like 2 or 3 times.
Especially near the end, yeah. They have a lot of health.
I will tell you though, those guards with the shotguns are pretty good at using them.
Yeah,
I died a couple times to them.
Even with save states, I died a few times in this game. I mean, I also didn't cover. I couldn't get it to cover very well because I know like you were supposed to be able to cover around stuff, but it's like when I hit the button, he didn't do anything.
Well, it's the Y button, but I found it only worked. Yeah, I found it only worked if he was standing up. If you were crouched, he would not stick.
Oh,
to cover.
yeah.
Oh, maybe that's why I was usually trying to crouch.
Yeah, you can only cover. I think you're right. Yeah, you can only do it when you're like on a wall, like now.
Yeah. But I was like, in Everything or Nothing, I could crouch and cover. So I was like, why did we take this out?
Like the stealth wasn't very good. Like you're supposed to be able to crouch and then sneak behind people, and I would do it, and they would go, "Hey!" And I'm like, "Oh, well, I guess I'll just shoot you anyway."
Yeah. No, the stealth is non-existent. Yeah.
Did you guys ever shoot the radio on the radio guards?
Oh,
Yes.
those guys are hilarious.
one
Like
time.
what? Like they're supposed to be like calling somebody, but they're just like alarm. Like whenever it's like what? Shouldn't they like say some radio gibberish or whatever into their thing instead of just being like alarm?
Metal Gear Solid 2 did it better.
It's like what? Did they say that in the movie? Is that from
Help!
The movie? I don't know.
Help!
I did enjoy shooting the grenades, the guys' grenades, and they would drop them, and it would kill whoever's standing next to them, which is kind of fun. Like that's a nice little option.
I don't think I ever did that.
That's probably the Bond vision, right?
It's a Bond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I never. Okay, that makes sense why. I regret that I did not mess with it. I feel like it. I know I said it before already, but I feel like that would have made this game so much better for me. I mean, the car parts were fine in this game, too. I like the fact that you have, which I'm pretty sure is from the movie, too, where part of the car, like from the wheels, something will come out and you can hit the car, and then for some reason the car flips and flies away when you pop their tires, but hey, whatever. I'll take it.
Yeah, I don't like that they reuse the same level 3 times for the car stuff.
Yeah.
No, that was annoying.
It did
Once
help,
was fine, but
Oh yeah,
Also-
where they kind of like padded it a little bit, where it's like, oh yeah, this time kill 30 cars and then drive
Yes.
or whatever.
I was
Yeah.
trying to figure out why that was an objective. They're like, we have to go to the train station, but also destroy 30 cars before we tell you where the train station is.
We gotta make sure we're not being
that was super padding there.
buddy.
Yeah.
It's like that was like really annoying.
And then we're gonna put tanks that block you if you don't kill.
Yeah, there's like no
It was,
point.
it was weird.
Just adding an extra 20 minutes or whatever. I thought the car levels were kind of fun. Like I enjoyed them. Like I mean, car
they are.
have been bad, and I mean for how if it's not like a straight up GTA or whatever that just focuses on driving stuff, it's always kind of a little janky. But I thought it was fun. Like I kind of just like I would just tap the gas pedal and then just stay behind the other car and just keep shooting them until they blew up, and then drive and find the next one and pretty much do the same thing.
I didn't mind it. Like you had the turrets, you had the wheelie poppy thing where you can make them fly. Like you had decent ways to take out things with the car.
Yeah, they're fine. I think you can just really feel that constraint on the budget compared to like Everything or Nothing, where 5 or 6 different large city areas that you drive through. So yeah, it just presentationally is what bothered me.
Maybe they had to spend all the money on Sean Connery, and that's why it was.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, probably he did cost more to get than Brosnan.
I was gonna say, does anybody know how much he made off this game?
No, but I did read a quote on Wikipedia where the games director was saying that he wishes they had a little more time because they didn't have like the budget necessary to bring the game to like what they envisioned it being. So probably a lot of
money. You can see that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, that happens, unfortunately, with games in general, though. I mean, no, I really wish this game would have gotten more time to be in the oven and be a little bit better. Also, like the first level we haven't talked about, but you get a jetpack a few times in this game, and one of the standout levels is you flying the jetpack around Big Ben, just shooting random terrorists for some reason, or the octopus guys. But
yeah, see, that feels like that was like proof of concept level that they did, and they said we're really gonna like flesh this level out because that is like a really good opening level.
That's the whole point.
And then the rest is like, it's all right.
I like the jetpack though. It controls well. Like I think they use it sparingly enough.
It's not fun when you're playing the game at 50% speed, though. I can tell you that. It is not fun to use then. It's really weird.
Then it's just called a pack, right?
It was not. I was like, well, this is really stupid. I'm like, it's not the game's fault, but this is really dumb.
No jet power.
I've also got to say, like,
this was all right. I had fun with it.
I know it's from the movie, but the scene when he finds the girl, Tatiana, waiting for him in his bed with just a sheet on, it's a much more creepier scene now in 2023 than it was when I first see this movie. I'm like, oh, that's sexy. I'm like, no, she's being manipulated. I mean, yeah, she's a spy and she's doing what spies do, which is called a honey trap. But, like, it was just, I'm like, this is just doesn't work for me anymore. This is too...
Oh, it's made only more creepy with the 75-year-old man's voice accompanying it. But,
yeah, that didn't help either. That did not help. Because he does not sound like young Bond. So, for some reason, it's weird. It's like his voice aged when he aged, huh? Yeah, that did bother me a lot. Just the Bond, just too old Sean Connery playing a too young Sean Connery. I just want to know why they chose this movie. Yeah,
I do too, and I didn't really do any research on that, but I am curious about it as well.
Because again, to me, this is a good movie, but this is, if you were like, someone was to pull out, like, look at all the Bond movies, you can choose one, like, this is not the one I would have chosen.
The big thing for me with this game, like the reason that I'm fond of this game is that other than like No One Lives Forever, there are so few video games doing the 60s spy aesthetic at all. And that makes it unique. Like the vibes are unique. I think the set design in this game is generally pretty fun. They have all the old computers around. They have all all the old style desks and, drawers and cabinets that you search through and stuff. Like, it's committed to that design aesthetic, and I think that's cool. Like, it's just a fun time to set a game. And yeah,
no, you're right.
As much as the old Connery voice is distracting, I will also add, like, it is at least a conversation point. It is something that makes this game bizarrely unique, and it is a conversation starter to be like, hey, remember that time that they got Sean Connery to come out of retirement to record his 20-year-old voice at the age of 75 for a video game? So,
this is after
this game has going for it.
He was knighted by that time too, right? So they had to approach Sir Sean Connery.
They must have paid him a buttload to get him to do this.
I just found an article that said he was paid $1 million for that game.
For probably a day of work, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. And he made like $160,000 off of the movie. So,
I'd come out of retirement too.
so
like
it's
$1 million
difference.
to
You
just
get a huge pay hike from coming from
right.
the movie to the game. So there you go.
That seems like they could have spent that money elsewhere, though, in this game.
Yeah, they had. I mean, you have to try since he's still alive.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I just wonder, like, if it was, like, you just wonder if they did talk about using a sound alike, and if there was like some pushback. Well, we had Brosnan in the last one, so
Yeah.
like maybe we need to go and see if Connery can actually do it.
I'm sure they considered it, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm also
I mean,
sure EA is like, we need to do whatever we can do to market it better, and having Sean Connery is a much bigger marketing than having lookalike.
exactly.
Yeah, get your grandpa to play From Russia with Love on the PS2.
We wouldn't have had all those great behind the scenes videos if it wasn't in there.
That's true.
I didn't watch any of those.
I'm with you, Trey. I love it when games do behind the scenes, like the
Yeah, it's great.
old God of
It
Wars. It's like, yeah, just keep doing that.
Do you remember? I'm sure you remember, like when like it was like Mortal Kombat 5, like through 7. They had those like crypts that you go through, and you could unlock all the videos, like the making ofs, and they had like little documentaries hidden there. Like I always loved that shit. Like I watched that first Mortal Kombat that was on GameCube, the 5th one. I forget.
Deadly Alliance.
Yeah, it was like Deadly Alliance or Deception or whichever one it was. It had like this whole like making of, and it would go like all the way back to the original Mortal Kombat and all that. And I love that stuff. And they do it. What was it like? There was like the Blizzard collection that had like that had whatever it's called in there.
Oh, with like all the
Like
old
Mark-
arcade games.
That has like a bunch of videos on it. I always like when collections have videos in there, so it's cool that this has it as well. And I unlocked all of them and watched all. I watched all the like the artwork too, the original artwork that you could. There's little videos that you can unlock that'll do that as well.
That's cool.
The concept art about all the levels and whatnot.
I should have checked that out. I was just, when I beat this game, I was just so done with this game at that point. But that's cool. They have all that.
I would just unlock something like every level because you get a certain amount of points. Like whenever you beat someone, I was like, all right, well, let's unlock another thing. It's just an extra little reward on there.
Is that what the stars are for?
The stars are for getting medals, so you can unlock those.
Oh, okay.
But I'm sure they have to do with your score.
The arenas to kill everybody.
Yeah, those were fucking boring.
Yeah.
On what
Yeah,
Reis
they
was
were
saying, though,
dumb.
I did really like the '60s aesthetic of it as well, and I had a great time at the end there with that old '60s looking Bond villain headquarters. Like I thought that was fun, and it has like the rail cars and all that. Like it very much is the time, and yeah, that was I thought it was a good time. And you have the shuttle in there, and it's like all the kind of has all the things you expect from that sort of time.
It really does fit that vibe. I mean, Reis is 100% on with that. And like the whole idea, even what you're doing, like the point of this movie, you're stealing the Lecter, which is a encryption device with the Russians. So I mean, something again that really fits the 65 because it's the Cold War and because this movie was made in the 60s. So, but I did like that.
I like the music too, like where they made it, very much like the old movie music and all that. I thought it was very fitting.
Yeah, during one of those
Somebody took-
final levels, they start playing an absolutely banging version of the Bond theme. And I'm trying to remember when it is. It's like the second to last level when you're fighting those robots, when they start rolling out the big tank robots.
Yeah.
And they're playing like a really good version of the Bond theme that is like very well composed. I love that stuff. Great.
I remember it coming on when I was looking through one of the file cabinets, and it just was like super epic. I'm just like, it's like no, and I'm like, oh yeah, can't find those files.
No, there's some really cool stuff to this game. I will say that.
Did everybody find like the secret outfits and all that stuff from looking in the files? Like there's a few that you could unlock. Like I always think it's hilarious that like his secretive suit like is still like a polo. It's like a black suit, but it has a little collar on it. Is that supposed to be him like still being stylish or whatever, even though he's sneaking in somewhere? I don't know. So I think it's the same thing
Most likely.
for the snow. I think the snow one has a little collar on it too. Snow suit.
I found them, and then like once I had the tuxedo one, I changed him into the tuxedo every level.
Oh, okay.
Like after that, I was like, hell yeah, this is my James Bond.
I didn't mess with it at all.
I just like switched it around whenever I had a new one. I was like, all right, well, we'll wear this for this level, or we'll do this for this, or whatever.
I didn't change anything, but that's just a me thing where I just kind of leave stuff alone.
I always like bonus costumes. I like to wear whatever they're not supposed to be wearing at the time.
That makes sense. I forgot there's a couple levels that weren't in this movie or weren't in the movie. I want to say the I'm pretty sure the escape is like except they don't fight that many ships, so obviously, like when you're running away with Tatiana, like the thing with the barrels. I think that's from the movie where he puts the barrels out and then he shoots them.
Yeah, I don't remember a scene where Bond killed about 20,000 people.
Right. And where Tatiana just drove in a circle, and I'm like, we could go, like, we can go that way.
After you kill everybody.
She's like, hold on, let me hide behind this cave thing.
Well,
Yeah.
it made me laugh because like she did it like for me it was like 3 laps, and after I took out the last guy, she's like, we're gonna use this ramp, and I'm like, it's been there the whole time. We could have used the ramp at any point in this situation.
She drives through so many random caves for no reason.
It's the hide from the boats. I actually liked that last boat level.
That's
It
it's
was
fun.
just like stupid. Let's just blow up a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah.
And we haven't
Yeah.
I guess we haven't really talked about the other boat level that was much. And for I don't
The
know.
terrible one?
I don't know why these were different. Like the other boat level had no armor, and this one had armor, and it actually refilled you at the checkpoints. But the other one,
Yeah.
and I think that's why it was such a
That one in Istanbul in the sewers, I mean, that's kind of from the movie because they do go down there, but they don't fight anybody, obviously. And, like, you're right, though. You die so easily. Like, even with save state, I couldn't save myself from dying. Even when I knew where the guy was, I would still die a few times. Like, it took me a couple times to get it right where I could line up my gun before he spawned, shoot the hell out of him, kill him immediately, and then get it to work. Like, it was very difficult and annoying.
For me, that level was just too dark, and like that's when I found out that the games from our childhood sucked because there's no brightness option. And I was like, what the hell?
That's why you have to turn off all the lights around you and sit in complete darkness.
Right.
That's what I
They
did.
at least had subtitles though, which I was like, hell yeah, let's go. But yeah, that I did not enjoy that first boat level because it was too hard to see anything. I had to bump up my computer, my GameCube's brightness.
Yeah, no, I had a hard time with that level. And now that's why I was surprising when the last boat level is actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, because I was afraid. Well, when I was, on the message, like you were saying, like that was a mad boat level, and I thought you meant it was like really fun. So like when I started playing it, I was like, all right, I got to at least get to the boat level because that's where Mike's at. And then I got there and I was like, this level sucks. And then I reread it later and I was like, oh, you didn't like the boat level.
I like the last boat level.
I made it through. It took me like 3 or 4 times, but I almost like kind of had rage quit there over the boat level because
I get
the
it.
first one because it was just I just kept getting killed and you have to shoot these locks and it's just dumb. It's just a boring level.
This era's
I
hard
don't
too.
like I didn't like the way it was designed or whatever. I don't know.
Like a game that I could not beat as a kid, Robotech Battlecry. Love that game, but that game is extremely challenging for no reason, which kind of made me think of like just this era in general. 2002 is when that game comes out, but
Also, minor
Same era.
complaint, but don't put aiming on the left stick if the rest of the game is going to use aiming on the right stick, please. Developers.
Yeah, that is weird.
yeah. Why would you do that? Okay.
I guess I didn't really notice it. Probably I don't know because a lot of stuff did that at the time, but no, it would have been much better to have it. What you said.
And then there's 007 moments you get to if you do like I guess whatever the game wants. Certain things the game wants you to like. Oh, you found a secret room, didn't it? And you get a little 007 medal.
Yeah, a lot of them were like, enter this room.
Yeah, they weren't as cool
I was like,
everything
oh,
or nothing. Had cool shit.
Yeah, it took me. I was almost through the game before I realized that it tells you in the menu where the Bond stuff is. I thought it was just kind of like, oh, find it, but it says on the bottom like, find this thing, and that's the secret Bond thing.
I'm pretty sure everything or nothing had you like jump over a wall or something with a car, or jump or crash through things, or shoot a guy through something cool stuff. Not like this.
Yeah.
But I
It
also
did.
don't think everything or nothing had them in the pause menu like From Russia with Love does, which is nice, you know?
It tells you there.
I got really stuck in the last level of this game where I couldn't figure out how to get to the bottom part of that rocket to like activate the bomb or something.
Yes.
I had to watch a YouTube video and see what the guy did to figure it out because I just kept missing the way you're supposed to take, and I was getting very irritated.
I got lost a couple times in
Okay,
some levels, like the first level where you get the sniper rifle. Could not find the frickin' rappel point to save my life. I was like, where is this thing? And then the rocket level. I was like, how do I get there?
Okay,
Like,
good. Wasn't just
and I'm like, Bond, you have a rappel. Just hook it onto this railing, jump down. Like it's the objective's right there, man.
only where the game tells him to.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some. I remember a moment. I think it was like the second to last level where it's like, you rappel all over the place, and then I just walk up to this little tiny fence that's about as high as my knees, and it's like, nope, can't go over that. And I'm like, wait, what? You jump over all this other stuff, and it's like, oh no, because I have to blow up the thing behind it. That's why but still, it's like. It's just a little tiny. It's you could just walk over it. You have to jump.
I got lost in the factory too. I missed one of the bombs, so I had to go through the entire level to find the bomb that I missed. I was supposed to get like way earlier. Then I went completely to the wrong area. Then I had to walk all the way back. It took me like 30. It took me 30 minutes to finish that level. So I was just lost.
Oh yeah, there was that one. What was that one level where you have to do like 5 or 6 bombs and people are like spinning through the ceiling? Like I got super lost in that one.
Yeah, that's a weirdly organized level. It's big and there are several bomb points, and if you miss one, you just got to go back. Yeah.
There was, I mean, again, you also like you'd see a mini map in the bottom, but you couldn't pull it up on your start screen.
Oh yeah, that's crazy too. It's like why can't we look at a map? Like,
yeah, it's like, I mean, there's a map here. Like you made a map. Yeah. You're showing me a mini map. Why can't I just?
Why can't we just look at it?
I think my
like it obviously you have it. Like it isn't.
I think my favorite level in the game is the one with the tank where you're working your way around a square. And it's like a fairly straightforward level, but it kind of almost feels like a prototypical like Uncharted-esque set piece.
Oh, where you have to like circle around. I think you get on a turret and then you shoot the tank.
You shoot the tank on a turret at the end. I like that level. That's a nice straightforward level, and it's like there's good action. The tank is shooting at you. It's fun.
That's very much like game design where you put your good levels in the beginning because most people won't get through like 50% of your game type of thing.
Yeah, it is early on for sure.
Sure, yeah.
Which again is a real thing. I mean, I've talked to a few game developers and like, yep, that's what you do. Because most people aren't going to finish your game.
Right. Well, then JRPGs subvert that by having the best music be for the final boss, like Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah, but JRPGs are a different thing.
Or was
I feel like at that point, people play JRPGs. I feel like they probably stick through them. We have a guy on here who's beaten a bunch of the Xenoblade games, so
that's insane.
Yes, you.
I know finished that series for all the Xenoblade games. Well, I haven't done X, but I put 200 hours in.
Hey, you waiting for a Switch? Are you waiting for that Switch version to come out?
Yeah, so I can start all over again. Actually, I did start playing it again right before Tears of the Kingdom came out because the Xenoblade DLC had like references to it or whatever. So
I actually have a copy of that game for Wii U. Like I bought it at a Target for like $15. I'm like, oh, cool, and clearance, and you never play it.
You never played it? Oh man, you should at least listen to the soundtrack for that game. Like that. I don't know if any of you ever played Xenoblade Chronicles X, but that soundtrack is insane.
It's banging.
I love it. I love it so much. It's so dumb, but it's so awesome at the same time.
I want to get into the Xenoblade series at some point. It's very, very tempting. It's one of the ones that once I finish a few other things in the show, I'm going to try to work those in slowly, very slowly. But
they're I was going to say, make sure you have enough time.
Oh, yeah. No, I just put
over 120 hours, I think, on all of the regular Chronicles ones.
Fucking hey, that's a lot. Except with Steam Deck, I can put in those hours easily throughout other stuff I do. So that's not
to be fair, like that is doing side quests and stuff in them because they're not, you can mainline them much shorter. But yeah, I just finished all of those games. Absolutely love that series, and I just started Xenogears for the first time, and I'm gonna do Xenosaga after that, and I'm loving it.
But yeah, I did.
You're in for a treat.
I was going to say, speaking of like, it's completely off topic, but speaking of like, having everything good at the beginning and then not at the end, isn't that pretty much what happened to Xenogears, where it was really, really great and then it just kind of...
Xenogears, they ran out of time, so the second half of the game, they couldn't finish it, and they just took all the levels, cut out the levels, put it all in little scenes where there's just text that you read about what cool stuff happened. Yeah, game's still amazing, but yes.
We'll see. I've definitely heard a lot of people like stand up for that stuff, though.
It's not bad. I'm not.
It's still
they were doing what they could. I just, I mean, as far as like putting good stuff at the beginning, that's kind of what happened.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, I'm like 7 or 8 hours in, and it's been incredible. Like,
the opening of it is fantastic. I did the same thing that you did. I bought Xenogears and Xenosaga after I beat Future Redeemed, and I was I got to play these because I played Xenosaga a long time ago when I first got a PS2, and I hated it.
Same. I bought it. Day came out. Never finished it yet.
Wanted to give it another try.
So do those games tie into Xenoblade Chronicles then? Because I have the first Xenoblade and I'm like 30 hours into it. But
no, not really.
Okay.
Mostly.
I mean, they're like, spoilers, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like way, way down the line. But in the DLC of Xeno 3, there's like references to Xeno.
Yes.
Oh,
but it's like truly minor stuff. And they are not technically legally allowed to directly connect things because Square owns Xenosaga and
not Saga, just Gears.
Oh, sorry.
Saga's owned by Namco.
Gears is what I meant to say. My bad. And Namco, I believe, owns Xenosaga.
Yeah, because I know because that was like the first thing they did, like as their own company, right? As Monolith was Xenosaga.
Yeah.
So I was hoping that they still owned some of it, but yeah, I guess I don't know. I was hoping for a re-release on Switch. I mean, Nintendo and Namco are pretty close. So.
It'd be cool. Future Redeemed kicked ass. That's all I want to say.
So
That was
good.
so
It's
good.
so good. Yeah. I mean, Tears of the Kingdom is like fine, but Future Redeemed is like currently my favorite game of the year. I love that game so much.
So
Wow.
good.
Yeah. It was
praise.
just the combat was just perfect. Like the combat was perfect. And it was not 100 hours. And I had a blast. Like,
Sometimes
Sorry.
that's nice, though.
Sorry to keep talking about Xenoblade,
Yeah.
but like, so can I just mainline it? Do I need to be doing side quests to keep up with the like leveling and stuff, or can I just like do the story stuff? Because I really want to get to like the other two games, but I'm like, man, I don't want it to vote.
I mean,
Yeah.
for me, I like doing side quests, so I did almost all of the side quests in the first one.
Is it
It
big
came out
thing
during
is just-
the pandemic. I was pretty sad, so that's what I did to make myself.
Right.
Keeping up with leveling will be hard if you're not doing some side quests. You will want to do some just to be able to progress. But yeah, you can totally mainline it.
okay?
And you're playing the new version, right? The Switch one.
Yeah, the definitive edition.
Okay, yeah, because the original one was really hard to do the side quests because they would just be like, kill these birds in this place, and it's like, okay, this place is really huge. I don't know where they are. At least in the new one, they point it out on the map, like where you have to go.
Oh, really?
It's a little clearer. Yeah.
Yeah, which makes it much easier. That's why it was great for me to just put on a podcast and just do side missions, and that's what.
See,
I did.
that's why I was asking, because like I've done some side missions and like nothing has really stood out, like, you know, where it's like, oh, this is a phenomenal side mission. You have to like, you know, like you're gonna add some good character stuff out of this.
When you get to 3, you will though. When Xenoblade Chronicles 3 comes around, they have hero quests, which are really cool.
Yeah, 2 and 3 both have really great side stuff. The big thing, though, is just pick up all those side quests because they'll auto-complete when you complete them. So you can kind of complete them, like, on your way to other stuff.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you should still pick them all up.
Okay,
Yeah,
even if you don't do them.
that's good tips.
Anyway, from Russia with love.
Anything you guys want to talk about? All right, go on to questions, comments, or memories. I think we said almost everything. Oh, the ending, you fight in the base, and then he sleeps with Tatiana. Who would have guessed? Oh,
Why no credits? I'm a credits.
oh yeah, you're right. That did irritate me too.
I don't know if you follow me on Twitter at all, or we do it on the show where we post like our beat of the week, and we post our post credits and stuff to prove that we beat a game or whatever.
I do the same thing.
And I was going to do it for this, but it just stopped, and there were no credits, and I was like, where are my credits? What? And I stayed up till like 6:30 in the morning playing this game, and I got to the end, and I was like, wait, no credits? I was like, I'm going to record the credits and post them and go to bed. And it's like, nope, it just stopped. Like, what?
I think you might be right that if you do the unlockable missions, it rolls them, but the requirements to unlock those are absurd. I don't know
It
if you
does
looked at
not.
that. It's wild. It does not? That's so
Well, at least if
weird.
you put in the cheat to do it, and then play the last one, which is terrible, it does not do it. I can tell you that.
Okay, yeah. They look bad, but also it requires like 60 medals or something to unlock the final level.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
And it's like I was thinking that they might be like, because the first bonus level is that you have to go like turn off 5 bombs. I tried that with the cheat code where I couldn't die. Still stupid, by the way. Still couldn't find one of the bombs.
So yeah, it's so boring. A lot of them are actually like as you're walking, like you have to turn around and then see. Like they make it really easy to miss, and they don't mark them on the map or anything like that. Also, it's a reused level. It's like it's a level that you like drive a car through later in the game. And if it's a bonus level, shouldn't it be new? Like, shouldn't it be something that you can't see?
I was thinking,
like it didn't seem like a bonus level. It's like, oh, here's a level that you drive through, but now you can walk through it. Okay.
like the airport level, which is the last one, I was thinking it'd be something cool. And it was really just you're standing in a parking lot with a bunch of cars, and guys keep climbing up over the wall and attack you. And that's all it was.
Yeah.
You have to kill 80 enemies. I'm like, this is stupid. I was thinking like Goldeneye, where you had Aztec and Pyramid, I think it's or Egypt it's called, where you had cool levels, and here it's just like, no, we're just gonna make you fight guys because we're out of money. So we spent it all on Sean Connery.
Yeah, right. I was hoping that they would just like the bonus levels might be like some key scenes from other Bond movies that aren't in this, like of Connery's movies, and no,
That would have been cool.
that's what I would expect from a bonus level from a Bond game, right?
Same. But that's not what we get.
Glad I did not unlock those now.
Yeah,
That sounds
they're
weird.
not worth it. I was also bummed that there were no credits either, because I want to take a picture of the credits, say I beat the game, because that's what I do for Facebook memories. I usually will beat a game, post a picture, put it on, like, okay, look, I did this. That way I know when I go back to my Facebook memory, go, oh yeah, look, Mike, you did that. But no credits, no the end, nothing. Just all the levels are beaten. Go keep playing.
That's how I keep track of a lot of my beats for the year too, is from posting the credits.
Oh, I have a notepad, and I write down that when I beat a game, if I use save state or cheat codes, I notate that. I notate the date that I beat the game. I do all that.
For Reis, you played it on Xbox, right? Does it have like a progressive scan mode or HD mode or whatever for it?
It ran in 480i. It doesn't do 720 or anything like that.
I was curious. Well, because the game, GameCube ones had like a 480p, but this one doesn't, and it looks smeary on my HD TV. I should have played Tube TV, but
it was 480p, not 480i. So it looked really good. And I'm running it through a RetroTink 5X Pro upscaler. So yeah, I was very happy.
Yeah, you made it look better. I was just playing mine through a regular ass GameCube through a 4K TV, so it's like it looked a little smeary, but it was I like playing it on the big screen, so I was like, all right.
Yeah, I mean, tube TVs are terrible to move anyway if you have to move one for any reason.
I mean, I have one in my office here, and I was gonna play it on there, but I don't know, it was more fun on the bigger TV.
I just really hate tube TVs, by the way.
I mean, they're heavy as fuck.
That's why I hate them. I used to work at a apartment building type thing, and with something, and I was the guy that would get stuck having to move the shit. I'm like, I don't want to. That was not my job, by the way, but that's what happened. I mean, the graphics were fine for me once I got everything to run. The graphics seemed fine. I mean, I played it on Dolphin, so I had no issues though.
I had some slowdown issues with Dolphin. Like just randomly, nothing would be happening. He would just be walking, and it would just be like start chugging, and I'm like, oh, okay. But it would fix itself pretty quickly. So
sometimes that just happens.
Yeah, there were some small frame drops on original Xbox too. I think maybe just going for 480p was a little more than it needed to be doing, but mostly it ran fine. It never got in the way of the gameplay.
I know it's a licensing thing, but I bring this up a lot, but I want to bring it up here. Like, it's too bad that this isn't available in some type of collection for modern day systems, or even just on PC in some version where you could buy it. Yeah. Like this Nightfire, Agent Under Fire, Everything or Nothing. It'd be nice if those are all packaged for somebody to buy.
Agreed.
And it makes me sad. It never will be.
Well, isn't like the whole you said isn't the whole Bond licensing kind of a nightmare anyway? Like who?
Oh yeah, they're MGM or just MGM or Broccoli. The guys that own it are real they do not like to let it out for anything anymore after some of the bad games and some of they're very particular to the license, so we won't see it again for a while.
Well, and Activision was the last ones who were working with it, right? So that complicates things even further.
Yeah. Well, but IO is making a Bond game. The guys who do Hitman.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, so there's a Bond game in the works. I'm really hoping we get an update at Summer Games Fest. But
yeah,
I just always think about that when I play, especially old licensed games. I'm like, man, it would be cool if this could be put in a collection for people to replay. I mean, sure, I didn't have the best time, but it doesn't mean that I wish it exists. Like, for someone could just pick it up and play this without having to go through all the hoops that we did. Right.
I do have to apologize to the podcast for not buying the PSP version of this. I know I kind of teased that earlier, but
oh, you're fine. I thought I was gonna play the PSP version of this too, just to play it. I did look up videos. It looks a little like the same, but it's the same game.
Yeah. If it was a
little uglier,
it's like very different. I'd play it, but I think it's the same thing minus another analog and
it's not like some games for PSP like that era will be completely different games.
Yeah, I would have been interested if it was, but yeah, I'm not going to play the same thing.
It says it just removes the driving levels, and adds more mini games. But
I wasn't. If I would have really enjoyed this game, I would have for timing reasons. I had time, but I was like, fuck it, I just want to be done.
It also came out a whole year after it, which is weird.
Oh yeah,
that's the PSP era though.
Any PSP people buy this game?
Hey, I had a PSP.
I did too.
I have a collection of PSP games, but my PSP, when I went and found it years later, the battery had busted or something, so it all expanded, so it wouldn't fit inside the PSP anymore.
Yeah, I heard they explode. I just turned mine on recently,
and I have no idea what I had the green Peace Walker PSP, but I have no idea what the hell I did with it.
My biggest selling regret is all of my buddies were buying Call of Duty Black Ops 4, and I wanted Black Ops 4, so I sold my Vita, and now I miss my Vita every single day.
I get that.
I always wanted one. I had a friend who let me borrow his for a while, and they were cool.
I didn't use them for PS Vita games. I just use them for PS1 games.
They're great for emulation too.
Oh sure. I played a ton of PS1 stuff on my PSP. I played through most of Final Fantasy VII on there.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure my PSP now is a Steam Deck essentially, so I'm good.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're also very easy to hack, and you can play everything on PSP on it, which is great.
Sure.
Yeah, a friend of the show, Michael Hughes. I know he did that with a PSP, and he had a PSP Go, and he just would load it up with whatever he had to play for the show at the time. Like, yeah, I'll just do this. So
they're
great for that. I really want a Vita. I mean, there's so many. Well, I don't want a Vita now. Like,
I was gonna say,
I want
if
to
you
play
have
the
a
Vita
Steam
library.
Deck, if you have a
Yeah,
Steam
no, I want to
Deck,
play the Vita library. That's what I want to say.
Yeah,
You could probably get it somewhere.
So at some point, I'm hoping to dig into that library because I feel like there's a lot of really good stuff in there.
A lot of cool Japanese stuff on PSP and Vita that never came over here that you can now play in English too through mods and the fan translations.
Yeah, that's
or you
stuff
could
that I'm.
play like Black Ops Declassified on your Vita.
You could if you wanted.
If you're like, man, I
Do you
feel
really
too good about myself lately.
Someday I'll jump into the Vita library. There's still Xbox games that I really, really want to play, like Otogi, for example.
Yeah, Otogi's
I really want to
cool.
play those.
Have you
I
played?
really want to play Breakdown for the show.
Yeah, Breakdown is nuts.
Have you?
But
played
I can't,
Crimson
I can't, I
Skies?
own a legit copy to the right of me, but I cannot play that game legit. I tried back in the day and it did not go well, so we'll never try that again. But yeah, someday. All right, since we apparently, I think we're running out of things to say, any last things about From Russia with Love before we go to questions, comments, or memories? Okay. All right. I didn't get many, so I'm going to read what I got. Let's see here. First, from me, I watched the entire Overload Super Replay. I got one comment. I don't understand it, but I'll read it anyway. From Lucas Harris. Did they put a roof on it? Not
Oh,
getting
I
it.
understand that.
Yeah.
Oh, what is that?
That's
an
from the
old-
replay episode.
Oh.
yeah,
I don't
old replay.
remember which one it was,
I
but
Yeah,
think it was From Russia with Love.
was it?
Yeah,
Was it Juba that said should have put a roof on it?
I can't remember who said it.
Okay, that makes sense. I was like, what the fuck? I've never finished all those replays. I really enjoyed them, but then I just fell off completely. When Dan left, I was done. Because Dan Reichert was the entertaining part of that, even though he was terrible at the same time. So
Yeah, I fell off after Tim left, and then kind of spottily watched him. But
yeah,
It's
they
been
just
long.
I think they're still on YouTube, aren't they? For now.
They
Yeah.
are.
Worried about that getting erased on YouTube, but all right. And then from the James Bond 007 fan group, I got one comment from Blaine Smith. I wish it would have been a first-person view. Okay, and that's fair.
Sure.
I'm glad it's not, but that is a fair statement.
Did you ever play the Quantum of Solace game on PS3 and 360? Because that one is fun because it does
Unfortunately.
Rainbow Six thing of being in third person in cover, but then first person when you're out of cover.
I remember it not being very good, though.
It's not great.
Yeah, I never played it because it didn't really get great reviews.
Yeah, it's kind
Achievement.
of it's a rough cut, but it's, I mean, I don't know, the cover thing's kind of fun.
I don't remember much about it. I know I played it. I'm pretty sure I beat it, and then because in the 360 era, I played just about everything I get my hands on for achievements. So I would just play everything. Plus, it was just the era when I'd go to GameStop every week and get cheap games. God, I miss when GameStop was good. I miss the days I just go to GameStop with like $10 and walk out with something like I've never heard of before for 360 and PS3 or 360 era. Now I walk in GameStop like, hey, do you want to buy a bunch of Funko Pops? I do, but no.
But you could love it now. It's got all your stuff in there now. Now that they're Funko Pop stores.
I mean, I have enough Funkos surrounding me right now. I have hundreds of Funko Pops around me. Hundreds.
Does
But-
it, I was trying to search around online. Does anybody know like how well this sold? Like, did anybody actually get this game? Like, speaking of like how you didn't really get a whole lot of response on it. Like, did anybody actually play it when it came out? It felt like it kind of just like, I don't know.
I don't think it did great.
Nobody
but
got-
let's see.
I mean, I didn't get it.
yeah, I mean, I bought mine secondhand. It looks like it sold about 277,000,
I mean, that's not great.
and that's
No,
that's
that's
oh,
pretty
that's within 3 months too. That's not even at launch. Like,
And
That's
across multiple platforms.
Right.
So, yeah.
It
That's
didn't
why
get good reviews. I can say that when I'm reading.
I thought-
Maxim gave it a 6. I
It's
didn't
not
even
very
know
good.
Maxim did that.
yeah, right. I remember reading an IGN review, and I think they said it was pretty cool, or they thought the jetpack was cool, or something. I don't know. I remember having positive thoughts in my head about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was 2005. I probably didn't have any money, and I wasn't going to pay like $60 or $50
I mean, that's
ever for a Bond game.
yeah, that's where I was at. I just didn't have money to buy new releases. So
Yeah, I would have been. This is what 2000. I know I said it earlier.
it was
That's just-
2005.
It's 2005, right?
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah, I would have been in high school.
November
I would have
1st.
been a junior.
2005.
I was
Okay.
in junior.
Oh no, I was a senior then. At this point, never mind. I was a senior, but I had a job. But I was buying. I bought tons of games in my senior year, but
I just graduated college, so I guess I'm the oldest one here.
but this wouldn't have been dirt cheap. So I bought a bunch of games for like $10 back then all the time. I'd go there with like bring $20 with me and see how much I could walk out with
Mhm.
once a week. But all right, and then but yeah, I'm assuming it didn't sell very well. I didn't see any numbers on Wikipedia.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was so random that you picked it. I was like, wait, does anybody else remember that game even?
Game Informer. That's the only reason why is on the show.
Well, I'm glad that you picked it because then I got to It was just collecting dust in our apartment here, so
And then
I got to finally play it, and I was on the positive side of it.
from the last group, Giant Bomb, we got a couple comments from Henrik Illison. How is Connery's voice as Bond? Weird.
What's your favorite part?
Not him.
No, that's what I was being sarcastic. I said it was your favorite.
I just did not like it.
Though probably the most notable thing about the game, like the most bizarrely interesting thing about it.
Real quick, the character models I thought looked good, except for Connery. Did anyone else feel that way? Like I felt like
kind of weird.
Yeah, but
that's
like
sort of uncanny valiness to it. But that, I mean, that's like, isn't that most like quote unquote like realistic looking games like age the worst? You know?
I mean, I guess, but like then even looking at like Red Grant or Kleb's face, I was like, those are some good detailed faces. But then it just go to Connery, and I'd be like, I don't know, that just seems off. That just seems weird.
Do you remember Connery making like as bad line? Like there's some really bad pun lines that he says in the game.
Yeah,
are those like that in the movie too? Like are they that like cringe?
I think so.
I don't remember the script well enough to tell you that it's the same.
I can tell you
so.
some of the lines were from the movie. I can tell you that.
Because I should have wrote them down, but there were some lines in the game that were just like, really? Wow, that's bad.
Like with Tatiana?
No, like just he made some really stupid puns, like to Q or like whatever, and they were just.
Yeah, there were a couple really rough ones.
They were a million years old.
Want to say that they maybe weren't the same ones that are in the movie, though, but I'm not sure.
I really wanted to rewatch this movie.
Yeah, I need to. It's been a couple years.
Bond movies are so like fickle when it comes like to catch them on streaming services. Like the only way to actually watch them is like every so often Netflix or HBO or somebody will get the rights for 1 month. They'll put some of them on, and then you get to watch them. But you only have I always have a very small window before they disappear again. Usually around April, May they come out.
Whenever the last one came out, the Daniel Craig one, I think that. He was on Prime, and they put a bunch of them on Prime. And I remember that. And I was like, I should watch some of those. And yeah, you blink, and then they're gone.
They're I've thought about buying them before, but I'm like, they're also expensive as hell to buy, like the DVD sets.
See, I always want to get the collection, but then they come out with another one, and I'm like, stop. Like, let me just have this one Blu-ray collection.
I've got that Blu-ray collection, and I'm just waiting for those 4Ks to drop anytime. I'm ready to spend that money.
Right.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm good. That's why I just kind of fell off with it. But all right, and then let me see. I have 2 more comments from Leroy Polk. I also remember seeing this on the cover of Game Informer, thinking it would likely be bad. And last one I'm going to read from Sean Nohead. All right, and last one I'm going to read from Sean Bean. No head. I stopped playing Bond games during the 360 era. All the OG Xbox ones are amazing, though. Nightfire, Agent Under Fire, and others I forgot the names of. Truly fun local PvP with amazing weapons and gadgets. Most shooters are boring compared to that era of Bond game.
I wonder how good this one has. We totally forgot to mention this has multiplayer. I'm sure none of us got to try it. No,
I didn't.
There is.
Yeah, I saw it in the menu there. I did not try it.
Yeah, because you can unlock characters as well with your points. Like
I know Everything or Nothing had like co-op multiplayer missions. Is that what this is, or is this competitive?
No idea. I didn't. I mean, it's
that would involve other people.
Yeah.
And where are you going to find somebody in 2023? Hey, you want to play a Bond game with me? Yeah, sure. We're going to play From Russia with Love on GameCube.
Yeah, it wouldn't be that one.
Got to go to the GameStop and just hold it out and be like, hey kid, you like Bond games? Do you want to come over and play this game? It'd be super creepy. There's also no videos of people playing multiplayer on YouTube, by the way, from this game. Oh yeah, I could have looked that up, I guess. No, you're good. I mean, there might be. There's nothing on YouTube. That doesn't mean it's not there. But you didn't. Yeah, I'm just trying to see if somebody had, because people post all sorts of things on YouTube. Yeah, I just kind of looked to see if anybody had seen credits in there. I kind of searched for that. There's also almost no reviews of this game either on YouTube. Like, there's not many. Yeah. Well, you should make one then. And you'll get a. There will be a YouTube video of this. Yes, it will not be any video, but there will be a video of this.
Put #review in somewhere in it too, so it pops up on SEO feeds. I mean,
I really should do that.
I'm saying if you want to get views, review something that barely anybody has reviewed. Like I did a review of Indy 500 for Wii, and I still get random comments from people telling me how much they hate me. But it's like one of my most watched videos, just because nobody ever did anything about a fucking Indy 500 game.
My most watched video on YouTube or podcast that people clicked on thinking it was not what it was Thor: The Dark World, because the episode went as long as the movie.
Oh wow.
Oh,
So people kept
Painful.
clicking on it, thinking it was the movie, and then they would leave dislikes because it wasn't the movie.
Nice.
Like, do you really think they're gonna let me put the movie on here? Like, come on, guys. Yeah, 34,000 views for Thor: The Dark World.
I titled a Dark Souls 3 video, like how I learned to love the parry is like an homage to like how I learned to love the bomb, you know?
Mhm.
And like I don't like it's just me failing a parry against an NPC invader, and everybody fucking hates that video. Like, there's a bunch of comments when it went up that was just like, I thought this would teach me how to parry. It's just some guy sucking. Like, yeah, man.
Our most watched video is a video of one of the co-hosts from our show, just basically Jeremy and I playing Stardew multiplayer, because it was like, because we dropped it like right when the multiplayer happened in Stardew Valley, and I get comments all the time that are like, it's like it takes an hour for them to figure out how to do multiplayer. It's like, yeah, we did it when it fucking came out, dude. I got like this paragraph comment, and then at the end it was like, oh, this sucks, and then at the end it's like, but at the end it's a pretty good video, and I'm like, wait, what?
He's typing as he's watching.
Yeah, it's like at the very end, it's like, you suck at this, and you take 45 minutes to get this doing, and this, and it's like, but in the end it was all right. It's like, what? You really pulled it together there.
YouTube is weird with that. Like, yeah, like I have 84 likes. It doesn't show the dislikes anymore, but it was a ton of dislikes on that video because people were so upset that it wasn't the actual movie. It's like, you do understand the algorithms would catch that, right, guys?
Yeah, you do understand that's like illegal to
Right?
the dark world on YouTube.
I mean, also, why are you looking for that movie? Of all the freaking movies in the MCU, that one of the worst? Like,
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're just looking. But the Indy 500 ones are funny. It's just people coming on to let me know that I suck at the game, and that's why I didn't like it. So that's mostly what my comments are for that video. Being like,
nobody ever
I was
comments.
8. I'm like, okay, cool, good for you. Thanks.
My dad is Jeff Gordon, and he would have won this game.
Jeff Gordon's not Indy 500.
No, he's not.
I know Mark Martin, I know Jeff Gordon, and I know Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Yeah, I don't think any of them raced for Indy.
I'm assuming Jeff Gordon should be done by now.
But what's her face? Danica Patrick. She was a racer. She was in that Sonic and Sega All Star Racing. So
She also was dating Aaron Rodgers, too, at one point. Yeah.
oh really? Wow.
Unfortunately, I know that information, but yes.
Is Aaron Rodgers a baseball player? That sounds like a very baseball player.
No, he was the quarterback of the Packers. Now he's a Jets
quarterback, and he's like insane too.
Yeah, he is. He went into a dark retreat and sat in the darkness for 72 hours and for him to get a message if he should keep playing for the Packers or not.
You didn't see those discount double check commercials?
You don't see those. Well, I don't watch TV stuff. I watch streaming services that don't have commercials and YouTube. All right, let's go on to... Actually, before we go to Shelf Stacker Box, I'm going to give away a code. If anyone's still here listening to us banter, here, have a free code of something. Let's see what I want to give away.
Well, hold on. We need to talk about Xenoblade more.
Oh, yeah. Did that already.
Yeah.
All right, here. Let's have code to Ticket to Ride. This is a Steam code. It's a board game of some sort digitally. The code is 032TAV8Z95DTOAE. It's an O or a 0, so if it doesn't work, try the other combination. I'm pretty sure it's an O, but I don't know for sure. So there's your code for Ticket to Ride. All right, and let's go to Shelf Stacker Box. And Trey, what about you?
So what is it?
Sorry, shelf being something you really like,
Yeah.
stack being in the middle, and box being something you dislike.
I mean, I like it. So I mean, I had a good time with it. I mean, it's short. It's not really. Maybe it's not necessarily that memorable, but I had a good 2 days with it. So I'll put it back on the shelf that it was on before I played it for this episode. So,
All right. And what about you, Nate?
I would put this in the box, but like every once in a while I'd take it out of the box to like kind of admire it and look at it and have nostalgic feelings about it. So that's how I feel about it.
Okay.
It's like, I don't know, it's not good enough, like, you know, like, well, I don't want to put it in my stack, but you know, like it's not like Shadow the Hedgehog where I'm like, put this shit in a box and like
Burn it.
forget about it, you know? It's like, that's fine.
I forgot to play that shit for the show.
I actually just deleted it off my computer yesterday because I was like, I'm not gonna play this again.
Never.
Like, I was like, why do I still have it installed? Like, fuck off.
Mine's been gone since we did the episode. I was like, goodbye.
So you didn't do like a You Love Shadow the Hedgehog? I didn't. Yeah.
No.
I actually got a tattoo of him on my back.
Yes. Hey, when Sonic 3 the movie comes out, you're going to be the coolest person around. You're going to have your Shadow tattoo.
Has he been announced to be in that movie yet?
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
post
it's
credits.
super. Yep.
Oh, I haven't seen Sonic 2.
I'm
Feels
so
better than Mario.
excited.
Oh, I like the
That's
Mario
some-
movie. That's high praise.
I agree that it was better than the Mario movie.
I mean, I like the Bond game better than the Mario movie. But
I like that first Sonic movie. I thought the first one was fun. I just haven't gotten around to watching the second.
And Reis, what about you?
Okay, well, first of all, I just want to let you know that I got this, retro setup going on now. I cannot wait to play Shadow the Hedgehog on my original Xbox. I'm so excited to see how that thing runs. But second of all, I like this game. If there was room in the stack, I'll make room for it. If the stack is, I don't know, man. If the stack is like 1,000 games high, it might have to go in the box. But I do like this game.
Okay. All right, I'll go last. I'm going to put this in the stack, too. I was going to put it in the box, and the more we talked about it, the more I didn't want to hurt his feelings. So, and I had a decent enough time. So go in the stack, but I'll probably never play this again. But I'm happy I finally played it. It's been on my list to play for over, almost 20 years. So I'm happy I finally played it.
Now you can stop waking up in cold sweat yelling out, "From Russia with Love!"
I wasn't. I'm trying to find out what year that was for that Game Informer. Oh, April 2005.
Yeah.
It's time to spy on the spies.
I think. Yep, no, it's April 2005 was that issue. Okay. All right, and I should introduce what we're going to be talking about next week. Next week, you can hear us talk about a good game, Zelda Oracle of Seasons. And Nate will be back for that.
Yay!
You just got to beat
That
it
is a
first.
good game. Good game.
It is.
Are you
Yes.
doing just seasons or
We already did Ages, so now we're doing just Seasons. So
And then-
we played Ages a couple months ago, then, came back to
And
Seasons
then we're
now.
gonna fly out to Capcom and be like, "Give us the dev kit for the third Oracle game that might not exist."
yeah?
That doesn't exist.
If I could plug my
Yeah, no, of course.
well, speaking of Oracle of Ages, I stayed up a long time last night editing it. But we have a Patreon at patreon.com/NintendoMain and we did our 50th Patreon only episode, which is called Expansion Pack, obviously from 64. But we just did our ultimate Zelda ranking. So we went through all of the games that I considered to be the mainline ones, so like the single player ones. So we do talk about Oracle of Ages and Seasons in there because I did include them and made them two separate.
They are mainline.
Is it a spoiler to ask?
They're not this. People can
What is number 50?
No, what do you mean?
episode 50.
You know what? It was episode 50.
It's
You're
episode
right.
number 50. We actually have 18 Zelda games in there.
I'm like, damn, there's 50 Zelda games. I'm
Congrats
so
on 50
Zelda's my
episodes,
favorite
though.
franchise, and I'm like,
Sorry.
there's 50 Zelda games.
It was our 50th bonus episode. But yeah, for only $1 online, you can listen to that. And also, we have a 7-day trial now for anybody who wants to
Oh, nice.
try out the $5 level and see the
If
video.
there were,
And that's cheaper than Nintendo Switch Online.
Yeah,
I'll listen to your podcast. I've heard it. No, that ad.
for the ad, you can get rid of the ad if you get on Patreon.
And Reis, where people find you at?
Hey there. You know what? I barely use Twitter anymore, but you can still find me at Side Group Games. But the big way to find me is to go onto Steam and search for the game called Throw Me in the River, which I released a couple years ago. And you can also go to www.fogtownseries.com. And that's where you'll find information on the game that I am currently working on. It's an FMV game that's inspired by Sherlock Holmes, and it looks really fun. It's going to be great, and it's all done with finger puppet. It'll be cool.
And you'll see a link into all that in the show notes. And you want to support this show, we do have a Patreon. For those of you who vote on our Patreon poll, we have monthly polls right now is Robin Williams movies that Mike has never seen. It's Night Listener, 1 hour photo, Birdcage, and the Final Cut. You can go vote in that for as little as $1. And also, we have a Discord. If you want to join us, you'll see a Discord link in the show notes. Please join, talk with us. And if you want, and give a shout out to my awesome intro and outro, courtesy of Helena at Hell Hasper. You can follow her on TikTok. You'll see a link in the show notes to her TikTok. And want to give a shout out to my buddy Bill Tucker, who did the MCU movies with me. Started his own podcast, The Gamer Looks at 40. Definitely go check him out also. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and on YouTube. We're audio only, but we are on YouTube. I think that's everything I need to say, so we will see you guys all next time. Bye, everybody.
Later.
Bye.